Catalyst Maria at 5-4. Number 8, Lyle at 6-3. We'll get 6-3 Carver, who's a 9 seed. Reed Custer gets a 4 seed in 3A at 8-1 against 5-4 Piatone, who will get a 13 seed. And number 5 Clark at 8-1 will get 6-3 Elmwood Brimfield, who is a 12 seed. Whoa, Reed Custer, a 4 seed in the north half?
Wow.
That's, I'd like to see who 2 and 3 are. I mean, I get Byron. I guess IC.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of the other ones, so maybe that is legit. So again, Reed Custer and Piatone will match up in round 1. Lyle will get Carver. Here's the bottom half of that. Number 2, Princeton at 8-1 will get number 15 North Boone at 5-4. Number 7, Prairie Central at 7-2 will go up against 6-3 King, who's a 10 seed. Number 3, Pecatonica, still don't know where that is. And 8-1 they'll go up against 5-4 Mendota, who's a 14 seed. And IC Catholic, wait a minute, is that right? A 6 seed?
Yeah.
Again, Monmouth Roseville at 6-3, an 11 seed. Oh, come on!
They had 37 playoff points. I think that hurt them a little bit.
Holy cow! But yeah, who are those 37 playoff points against, though? That's the
right.
Wow. Okay, well that's a little bit of a shocker. All right, so the other part of that, number 1, Tolono Unity at 9-0 will get to the 16 seed Newton, who's 5-4. Paxton, Buckley, Loda, about an hour and 15 minutes or so from here at 6-3. We'll get 6-3 Eureka. That's an 8-9 matchup. Number 4, Williamsville, of course, who Wilmington is familiar with. 8-1 will get number 13 Beardstown. They're 5-4, and 8-1 Fairfield will get a 5 seed. They'll go up against the 12 Hoopston area at 5-4. Again, I will put on here the 3A breakdown of who's playing who in just a moment. Here's the last part of that. Number 2, Mount Carmel at 9-0 will get number 15 St. Joseph Ogden at 5-4. Another team that Wilmington's seen a few times. Number 7, Carlinville at 7-2 will go up against DuQuoin, a 10 seed at 5-4. Benton at 9-0 will get a 3 seed, go up against Piazza Southwestern at 5-4. They're also a 14 seed. And number 6, Monticello at 7-2 will go up against number 11 Greenville at 5-4. Wow. Now, all the things I thought I would say tonight, I didn't think I would say IC would be a 6 seed.
Yeah, I didn't realize they had that low of playoff points, I guess.
Yeah.
But isn't there a point where you go...
and Byron just clicked them by 1 must have in playoff points. They must have picked up a couple more playoff points today. The only thing I can think of. This morning, Byron only had 36 playoff points.
Yeah, but they're undefeated.
They're 9-0.
Yeah,
right?
they're 9-0,
right.
so they automatically get the higher seed.
So where was Tolona was
undefeated as well.
They're undefeated, and Mount Carmel and Benton. Those were the 4 undefeated teams in 3A, I think, right?
Right.
So Lyle, is it Lyle and it's Piatone and Reed Custer,
Yeah,
right?
Piatone and Reed Custer, yeah.
So Reed Custer at 8-1 against Piatone, who is 6-3. Give me just a moment here as I'm going through and trying to enter some of the stuff onto the screen, so people just jumping in later, they'll be able to tell what's going on. All right, Lyle at 6-3 will be going up against Carver. I believe that's a public league team too, isn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Carver also at 6-3. Okay, I think that's it for 3, at least the ones that we need to put into here. We'll stick around for 4A in just a moment. Terry's been printing off these brackets kind of as we go through here, but okay. But the weird part to me is, I mean, Clark at 8-1 getting a higher seed than IC Catholic is, and Pecatonica. I mean, look, I understand that playoff points and record and all that means something. But if you're going to tell me that Pecatonica and Clark are better than IC.
43 playoff points.
I'd say if you remember back in the day, they used to have your football enrollment, right? It was based off all the teams you played, and then they dropped the highest and lowest, and then averaged all the rest of them in. So there was a football. And they said that wasn't fair. That the football, because it wasn't fair for smaller teams that are in these, their outskirt conferences where they're having to play bigger teams, and they automatically get bumped up when they really can't compete.
So if you're just jumping in here, Wilmington is going up against Julian in the first round of the playoffs. That's a 9-0, 5-4 matchup. Reed Custer will get Piatone. That's another one of those we're going to play people we've already seen kind of games. And then Lyle will be going up against Carver. We'll have 4A coming up here in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break, come back with your 4A brackets in just a second. Breezer Construction Company is a proud supporter of Wilmington Wildcats football on the Christian Internet Sports Network. For over 40 years, Breezer Construction Company has led the way in providing quality construction to the industrial, utility, and pipeline industries. For more information on Breezer Construction Company, go to breezerconstruction.com. That's breezerconstruction.com. Or call 815-521-0900. Warren's Collision Center is now at 860 Easy Street in Braidwood. They accept all insurance companies, and as always, customer service is their top priority. Contact Warren's Collision at 815-458-3300, stop by online at warrenscollision.com, or visit in person at 860 Easy Street in Braidwood. Warren's Collision Center is open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair. So just looking back at a few things here before we get to 4A, which I think they're going to get to. They might get to really quickly here. So we'll have to go back through some of these at the kind of end of all of the pairings being released and look at some of these brackets so that you guys can get a little bit of a more extended review of what's going on here. But some other teams that are basically in the area, Ottawa Marquette got a 2 seed at 8-1. They'll get Princeville, excuse me, big difference there. Also, Aurora Christian will go up against Alina Winslow. Of course, Aurora Christian, a team that we've seen a few times at Wilmington as well. And then if you go into the 2A bracket, of course, Wilmington. Okay, let's just go to 4A here. The release of 4A, number 1, Joliet Catholic at 9-0 will get Marengo. Oh, good luck, Marengo, at 5-4.
There's a surprise.
16 seed. Number 8, Wheaton Academy at 7-2 will be at number 9, Coal City, who is 6-3. Number 4, Genoa Kingston at 8-1 will go up against Bogan, 13 seed, that's 6-3. And St. Francis, a 5 seed at 7-2, will get Peoria Notre Dame, who's 6-3. They're at 12 seed. So Coal City, the 9 seed.
If Coal City beats Wheaton Academy, then that means JCA will come to Coal City.
Correct.
Yes.
If JCA wins that first game.
Wheaton Academy, that's no gimme.
You got to play them.
That's no gimme.
You got to play the games. Come
on. Richmond Burton, a 2 seed at 9-0, will get number 15, Chicago Sullivan, who's 6-3. Number 7, Stillman Valley at 7-2, goes up against Hyde Park, a 10 seed at 6-3. Number 3, Kewanee at 8-1 will get Plano, a 14 seed at 6-3. And number 6, Phillips. Boy, there's a name that's been bounced around. At 7-2, they'll get the Dixon Dukes, an 11 seed at 6-3. My goodness, are there some teams in 4A? I mean, Richmond Burton, Phillips. You got Joliet Catholic in there, Wheaton Academy. I mean, that's...
Wait till you get to the south here.
Holy cow. Yeah. Number 1 seed, Rochester in the south at 8-1, going up against number 16, Cahokia at 5-4. Number 8, Mount Zion at 6-3 will go up against number 9, Paris at 6-3. Number 4, Freeburg at 7, not Freebird, Freeburg at 7-2, going up against Richland County, a 13 seed at 5-4, and Carterville, a number 5 seed at 7-2, will get Harrisburg, a number 12 seed at 5-4. Okay, Terry giving me the 2A distance map here, the travel look that we'll get to in a little bit. Okay, number 2, Breeze Central at 8-1. We'll get 15, Salem at 5-4. 6-3, Murfreesboro Co-op, a number 7 seed, will go up against number 10, Macomb at 6-3. And 8-1, Sacred Heart Griffin, a 3 seed, will get 14, Columbia, who is at 5-4. And number 6, Quincy Notre Dame at 6-3 will get 6-3, Civic Memorial, who will end up with an 11 seed. And Coal City, that's going to be a hard road to get to anything.
That's tough.
I mean, you draw Wheaton Academy first round. That's an uphill battle, to say the least.
Yeah. And if they get past that, guess who they're looking at?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I see. If you get past that, you probably have Phillips or somebody else. I mean, or Richmond Burton waiting for you. I mean, that's just wow, there's a lot there. I go ahead and put in here the Coal City.
They're showing JCA. I don't know who they're playing there, but they just even said they have one of the best running backs in the state.
Well, they do.
And the quarterback's got a good arm.
That team is loaded. All right.
This is Rochester, yeah.
Yeah, Rochester.
They're showing Rochester
So
now.
I was looking at the 2A kind of travel list here, and it is kind of interesting because Bishop McNamara, Moments, and Clifton Central are all in the same general area as Wilmington.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of grouped together, and then you got the one team, or actually two teams out of the Chicago area, and then a bunch of teams grouped together kind of in the north central part of the state, and then a group over in the northwestern part, all in that northern half. So there isn't a huge gap between a lot of these teams. And in the south, though, everything's
It's all over.
It's spread out everywhere. That'll make for some interesting travel in the week 2 of the playoffs. But the northern half seems to be in groups, kind of bunched together a little bit more. So that will be interesting to see how all that kind of plays out.
They haven't done the. Right?
Yeah.
They are.
So I was looking at
the
2A bracket. I know we're kind of focused on that because Wilmington's in there, but so I was just talking to Mike, who are one person audience here, and we were looking at the possible path to at least the semifinals here, and if we win the first game, we have to play the winner of Aledo and Sterling Newman.
Mm-hmm.
If it's Sterling Newman, we'd have to go there. If it's Aledo, they would have to come to us. And if we get past that game, depending on if we're on the road or not, we may have to go to Bishop Mac. I mean, it just depends, obviously. But Bishop Mac's first game is away, so
yeah,
that already gives them an away game to start out,
Yeah, and they'll end up hosting, if Bishop Mac wins, and I think we're looking at that being the case, they would then host
the second
round.
Yeah, they would.
And then it kind of depends what Wilmington's, how that falls.
Right, because they'd have a home and away. It just depends if we're home and away or home, for that second round.
Interesting.
So,
well, and there's a lot. I mean, again, Wilmington will play Chicago Julian. Just below them, Aledo and Sterling Newman Central Catholic. Then Knoxville and Bishop Mac, and then Erie Prophetstown and Clifton Central. So the winner of Knoxville and Bishop McNamara will get Erie Prophetstown or Clifton Central. And then in the bottom part of that upper bracket, Downs Tri-Valley and Rock Ridge with Deer Creek Mackinac and North Lawndale Charter. So the winner of those two games will match up. And then Tremont and Moments, Decatur St. Teresa and Flora, the winner of those two games will ultimately match up. And it's a very interesting 2A bracket.
Yeah, it will be interesting, yeah. Even down in the south, there's some interesting stuff. Eric, my youngest son, sending me some stats on some of these teams, and Nashville points 44.3, and points against 9.9. Decatur St. Teresa 47.4, and 7.1 against. It depends on who they play.
Good defenses.
But there's some defense there on some of these teams. And it's going to be really interesting.
And I have Terry's printing these out as we go. I got the 3A ones in my hands. Then I'll have 4A in my hands in just a minute. We're going to go to 5A now. We're trying to go through all of these as we get them immediately. And then once we get all the way through 8A, we'll come back and go through these brackets a little bit more in detail. But we want to make sure we're keeping up with everything here. So the 5A bracket, number 1, Glenbard South. Boy, they used to be a bigger team than that. We'll play the Chicago Bulls.
Well, maybe they can win in football.
A 16 seed at 5-4. I mean, that's what it says. Evergreen Park, an 8 seed at 6-3. We'll get
the Bulls 5-4.
Number
really?
9, I guess. Number 9, Sycamore at 6-3. Number 4, Sterling at 7-2. We'll go up against St. Patrick, a 13 seed at 5-4. And Rochelle, the Hubs, a number 5 seed at 7-2. We'll get Peyton at number 12, a 6-3 team. But it literally says Glenbard South and the Chicago Bulls will play in the first round. That'll be really interesting.
Doubles.
And, of course, Sycamore, not real far from here. And Evergreen Park is a team that Wilmington knows. Okay, other part of that. Number 2, Fenwick at 7-2 will get number 15, Caneland at 5-4. We were just talking about Caneland a little while ago. Number 7, Brooks at 6-3 will go up against numbers 10 and 6-3 Boylan Catholic. Number 3, Good will go up against Nazareth. Good is a 7-2 team. Nazareth is a 14 seed that's 5-4. And number 6, Chicago Comer at 7-2 will go up against number 11 Marmion at 6-3. So Caneland gets a 15th seed in there, a team that Morris has seen, I think, this year. They played.
I think they have, yeah. They're in the same conference, yeah.
All right, and the other part here, number 1, boy, talk about a team that's really been on the rise. Kankakee at 9-0 will get a 1 seed. They'll go up against number 16 Carbondale at 5-4. I forgot about Kankakee, honestly, being here and being so good. Number 8 Peoria at 7-2 will get 6-3 Morgan Park a 9 seed. Number 4 Muskota at 8-1 will go up against the 13 seed Dunlap at 5-4, and then number 5 Marion at 8-1 will get the 12 seed Metamora at 5-4.
What? Is that the Carbondale I'm thinking of in southern Illinois?
Yeah, that where southern.
So what kind of bracket is that? I mean, how do they split that up?
I mean, you got to draw it where it is.
All right.
They went 1 through 30.
Well, this is an interesting draw. Number 2 Morris at 9-0 will get 15 LaSalle Peru at 5-4. So that's an interesting first round matchup. Number 7 Morton at 7-2 will get 10 seed Highland at 5-4. Muhammad Seymour will pull a 3 seed at 9-0. They'll go up against Jacksonville, a 14 seed at 5-4. Number 6 Triad at 7-2 will go up against number 11 Hillcrest at 5-4. So Morris getting stuck with, once they get past LaSalle Peru, there's some travel in that list. I mean, my goodness.
I can't wait to see that map.
Yeah, that one looks interesting.
Yeah, how does Carbondale come up to Kankakee in the first round? I don't get that. And that's a 1 through 16, right?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I don't get that one. That's a 5-hour drive.
Well, Kankakee is in the south.
Oh, Kankakee's in the south? Oh, okay.
We're south of 80.
Yeah.
It's in the south.
Well, yeah, anything past 80 is southern Illinois. Yeah.
We're down by the equator, I guess, right?
So 4A, while we're waiting on them to release 6A, just glancing back at 4A quickly, Coal City at 6-3 will go up against 7-2 Wheaton Academy. Coal City got the 9 seed and go up against the 8, so they will be on the road to go up to Wheaton Academy. And then the winner of Joliet Catholic and Marengo, I have a spoiler alert. Joliet Catholic. But Joliet Catholic has to play Marengo. The winner of that will get either the Coal City or Wheaton. But then if you look at the rest of that, Richmond Burton is in that top half. Stillman Valley is up there. Also Chicago Phillips. Plano is thrown in the middle of that mix as well, and that makes for a real interesting top half of the 4A bracket. Of course, Rochester in the bottom half there. Breeze Central is in the bottom half as well, the southern portion of that 4A bracket, along with Sacred Heart Griffin. I mean, they're, holy cow, 4A is just, that's a monster for whoever is in that particular bracket.
Especially the North.
All right, 6A brackets. Cary Grove at 9-0 will get a 1 seed, go up against number 16 Rockford East at 5-4. Number 8 Belvedere North gets a 7-2, go up against 7-2 Grays Lake Central. That's an 8-9 matchup. Number 4 Deerfield at 8-1 will play number 13 Mather at 6-3. Number 5 Evanston at 8-1 will go up against number 12 Crystal Lake Central. I guess that is. I knew there was a Crystal Lake South. I didn't know there was a Crystal Lake Central, but I'm assuming that's what that is. So Cary Grove will pull the number 1 seed in that portion of the bracket for 6A. Again, be sure to stick around as well. Once we get through all of the brackets here, we'll go back and we'll touch on some of the more area teams. I want to make sure we get through all these, though. Number 2, Wakanda at 9-0 will go up against number 15, Lakes at 5-4. Number 7, Prairie Ridge at 7-2 goes up against 7-2 Vernon Hills, who will get a 10 seed. Number 3, Harlem at 8-1 will go up against number 14, Crystal Lake South. There's the South version of that at 5-4. Number 6, Lake Forest at 7-2 will play number 11, Antioch at 6-3. We are in the middle of the 6A bracket. Boy, it seems like we're flying.
It's like I
through
said,
these brackets.
They're really not talking too much, and I think they're saving it for the after show.
All right, number 1, Lamont. There. Speaking of teams at Wilmington. In the past, and 9-0, we'll go up against number 16, Kennedy at 5-3. Number 8, Rock Island at 6-3. We'll play number 9, Springfield, also 6-3. East St. Louis. You want to talk about probably the lowest rated great team in any of these brackets? It's East St. Louis, a 4 seed at 7-2. They just lost to IMG last night.
What did they end up losing by?
It wasn't close.
Oh.
Riverside Brookfield, a 13 seed at 5-4.
It was worth it though.
Yes. Number 5, Richards at 7-2 will play 5-4 Simeon, who will get a 12 seed. I mean, it was like 40 points or something like that.
Okay.
Number 2, St. Ignatius at 8-1 will go up against number 15, Bremen at 5-4. Number 7, Crete Moni. I'll tell you right now, that is a problem for somebody if you're not taking them seriously. They'll go up against Glenwood at 6-3. They're a 10 seed. Number 3, Kenwood at 8-1 will get Champaign Centennial at 5-4. That's a 3-14 matchup. And Washington, a 6 seed at 7-2, will play Normal West, an 11 seed at 6-3. Boy, there are some teams buried in there. Crete Moni and East St. Louis is going to be a massive problem for a few people. You want to talk about a 4 seed that is not a 4 seed? That's them. Now I understand, you lose a couple of games that you're going to drop a little bit, but the quality competition that they're playing, I mean, IMG is literally a top 5 team in the country, so that's just a little bit of a step up from where it's been. We still have 7A and 8A to come. We'll see if they get right to 7A here or not, and then we'll kind of break things down more in these other divisions. I still need to put maybe Morris on this board here too, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. So
they still haven't posted the 5A map. I think they realize they messed up. And
right. Oops. Our bad. I mean, Carbon to Kankakee in the first round?
Yeah, I know it.
How far of a drive is that? 3.5 hours?
No, it's longer than that.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. It's got to be at least 4.5. It's 5 hours from here.
Wow.
I just posted.
That's
a broken link.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Broken link.
I clicked on it.
There's something.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that gets those.
There's something broken about that. So we still have 2 sets of brackets to go through, 7A and 8A. And once we get through those, we'll come back to the other brackets and kind of get you caught up on some things.
You looking for 5A, John? Is that what you were looking at?
Well, I don't have that in my stack.
It just came up there, Dennis. If you can probably bring it up now.
I think, yeah, that's what Terry's got here.
No, the map still does not show for me.
So,
yeah, I was looking for.
So there's two. I see why they listed them like that, John. There's 2 Chicago Noble teams. One is the Bulls, and one is Comer.
Well, whatever it is, they're playing the Chicago Bulls. That's
who they're playing. That's right.
Hey, I mean,
that's Glen Ellen, that Glen Bart South.
I guess at some point in your life, you could say that you played against the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, the winless Chicago Bulls. Have they won a game yet this year?
Yeah, aren't they like 3-0 or something?
I don't know.
They're supposed to be good.
Okay, they're gonna take a little bit of a break to come back to 7A, which gives us a moment to kind of backtrack here a little bit. And I wanted to take another glance quickly at the 5A brackets because we kind of skipped through those in a relatively rapid fashion. We talked about Kankakee at 9-0 getting a 1 seed playing Carbondale, and then the winner of that will take on Peoria High School or Morgan Park, which is up out of the city. And that seems like a little bit more realistic in terms of travel distance there. But then you go to the next 2 games, Muskota and Dunlap and Marion along with Metamora. Things are a little bit spread out. And then you have Morris in that part of, in the southern part of the brackets too. They play LaSalle Peru, who's 5-4, and Morris clearly the favorite there. They would get the winner of Morton and Highland. And then the other part of their portion of the bracket is Muhammad Seymour going up against Jacksonville, and Triad out of Troy playing Hillcrest from Country Club Hills. So Morris and Kankakee, both 9-0. Kankakee, the 1 seed, Morris, the 2 seed in the, what we would call the south parts of those 5A
if they did
brackets.
more of an east-west maybe?
It
On
could
5A
be.
maybe? Something like that? I don't know.
Well, if you look at, so Terry just handed me the 4A breakdown of distance.
That's 4A, yeah.
Look at that. I mean, the north half,
Yeah.
they're
all there,
all right together. I mean, there's only like 2 or 3 teams out of there, and then the south half
Yeah.
is like madness. Of course, Southern Illinois is madness. I mean, it's still spread out everywhere.
Like we said, that's south of the equator, so.
Right. But 4A makes sense. I mean, looking at that,
Yeah, right.
the travel breakdown, that makes sense. And then 5A, oh my goodness, look at that.
There's a, yeah.
So Carbondale coming all the way up to Kankakee. If you look at the top half for 5A, everyone's grouped within.
Yeah, that's
certain
other than a lot of
distance.
Chicago schools and
Yeah.
and suburban schools. Yeah.
Look at the south part of that, though.
Yeah.
It's like
That's ridiculous.
Well, there is,
massive
and there
travel
is
times.
another one further north than Kankakee.
Yeah,
There
that's
is, I can't even see another. There's a Chicago school
Yeah, there's
in that bracket that goes south.
wow, that's
Down in
that's
Peoria.
lunacy. But they want to limit the amount of travel
Well,
that
sure, yeah,
happens in the
they're going to
playoffs.
supply a helicopter or something for Carbondale.
Lear Jets.
Yeah.
Okay, I think they're going to get it to, what are we up to, 7A here?
I believe
So
so.
we have
Yeah,
yes.
7A's coming up, yeah.
7A and 8A, and then we'll go back and kind of do the greatest hits here of this whole thing. 7A, number 1 Batavia at 9-0 will take on number 32. So these are 1 through 32 here. Lake Zurich at 5-4. Number 16 Thornwood at 7-2 will go up against number 17 Chicago Mount Carmel at 6-3. Plainfield Central at 8-1. They're back in the playoffs. They had a couple of weird years. An 8 seed going up against the 25 seed Yorkville at 5-4. The Foxes had to win last night to even get into the playoffs, and they managed to do that. Brother Rice, a 9 seed at 7-2, will take on number 24 Wheaton Warrenville South at 5-4. They're a perennial playoff team as well. Some of these teams really needed a win last night, and we'll see if Yorkville can carry that against Plainfield Central, but that's kind of a tough draw for the Foxes there early on in the 7A bracket. And Plainfield Central has had a few rough years, but they're back making a run into the playoffs here. I mean, another part of this, number 4 Wheaton North at 8-1. We'll get number 29 Elgin Larkin at 5-4. Number 13 Hoffman Estates at 7-2. We'll take on Thornton Fractional South, a 20 seed at 6-3. Number 5 Moline at 8-1 will go up against number 28 Hampshire at 5-4. Number 12 Young at 7-2 will play Willowbrook, who is a 21 seed at 6-3 on the year. Oh, great. Here's this name again. Hananega, a 9-0 team and a 2 seed. I practiced that all year just for this one thing. Number 31, Plainfield East at 5-4. Number 15, Pekin at 7-2. Will take on number 18, Libertyville at 6-3. Number 7, Collinsville at 8-1. Will play Geneva, a 26 seed at 5-4. St. Rita, well, I guess they're still at 7A. They haven't dropped that much. At 7-2, and a 10 seed will take on number 25, Rolling Meadows at 5-4. So Plainfield East gets a rough draw, a 31 seed to take on Hananega. Sure. And I don't know if that's how you pronounce that or not, but I'm just going to say that it is.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
So the other half of this bracket, number 3 Normal Community at 9-0 will take on Eisenhower, a 30 seed at 5-4. Number 14 Hershey at 7-2 will go up against Jacobs, a number 19 seed at 6-3. Number 6 Buffalo Grove at 8-1 will take on another team that really isn't that far from here, a 27 seed Lincoln Way West at 5-4. Number 11 Prospect at 7-2 will go up against number 22 Shepherd. Believe this? Well, I couldn't see what the record was on that, but whatever. It's Shepherd.
And it's 7A.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
7A,
it
yeah.
is.
Not that we don't care about it, but
Yeah.
I think I only watch it on Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
usually the only time I see any 7A schools play.
There's some pretty good football there,
Oh,
but yeah,
yeah.
it's. I mean, there's so much going on around here that we usually are focused on 2, 3, 4A. Sometimes up in 5A if Morris is playing, but yeah, very rarely. I mean, there's not really any 7 or 8A schools anywhere near here, unless you go over, like we said, into New Lenox or Plainfield, and you get at least a couple of those. So 7 classes in the books. We still have 8A to go, and then once we wrap up the 8A brackets, we'll come back and we'll kind of run through things on those lower divisions a little bit to give you a better understanding of where everybody stands. I know for a lot of you, you jumped on for Wilmington, and you can see there that Wilmington is taking on Julian, a 9-0-5-4 matchup in the first round. And see if I can go back and find those 3A brackets again. I've rifled through enough of these tonight. Oh, here they are. So Wilmington, or 2A brackets, that's what I'm looking for. We'd get the winner of Aledo Mercer County and Sterling Newman Central Catholic if they were to get by Chicago Julian. The other 2 matchups in that portion of the bracket are Knoxville and Bishop McNamara, along with Erie Prophetstown and Clifton Central. So there are some solid teams in Wilmington's, I mean, I guess you could call that quadrant, whatever that is. I mean,
well, yeah, kind of.
Effectively what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, the 8 teams that end up falling in there. I guess we're going to take another little brief time out here, and before we get to the 8A. As a matter of fact, let's do that as well. We'll take a break. We'll come back with the 8A brackets, and then we'll start going back to the other ones here in just a moment. Back with more on the Playoff Pairing Show after this.
Wilmington Pharmacy proudly accepts all insurance plans and can easily transfer your prescriptions. They also offer delivery and a drive-through window. Wilmington Pharmacy is open 9 to 7 Monday through Friday and 9 to 4 on Saturday. Stop by at 600 West Baltimore Street in Wilmington or call Wilmington Pharmacy at 815-926-1770. That's 815-926-1770. Wilmington Pizzeria is located at 205 East Baltimore Street in Wilmington. They have pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and a full selection of family meal deals. They offer pickup and delivery too. Wilmington Pizzeria is open Monday through Thursday, 10:30 to 9, and Friday and Saturday from 10:30 to 10. Call Wilmington Pizzeria at 815-476-7011. That's 815-476-7011.
Back here on the Playoff Pairing Show, we are fairly certain we know the day and time of Wilmington, but we're going to hold off on that for just a second.
Stay tuned.
Before we go
Stay
crazy.
tuned, yeah.
Right,
But
it's a
after
teaser.
the next break.
It's almost like real radio.
Exactly. Almost.
Will it be Friday night or Saturday afternoon or Saturday night?
So whatever you're doing, contact all the people that you know and tell them to log on here so they can figure out exactly the day and time. Don't listen and then pass it on to everybody. Tell everybody to log on right now.
If you're the 10,000th streamer, you will win absolutely nothing.
That's right.
Okay. All right, so there's still a little bit of discussion going on with that, so we're going to keep that opinion to ourselves, but we might know that before we're
hopefully maybe we'll get Coach on
sure.
later.
Yeah. We'll definitely. We're going to talk with Coach Reins at some point here, so we'll get, I'm sure if they have something put in place by then, we will go with that. But in the meantime, we'll keep things rolling here. We're up to 8A, and we'll see exactly where this bracket falls in, and then we'll come back to doing our own thing and go through some of these brackets here. All right, 8A is out. It's number 1, Loyola Academy, the shocker at 9-0. We'll go up against number 32, Downers Grove South at 5-4. And then the Naperville teams, I'm sure this will thrill them. Naperville North, a 16 seed at 6-3, will go up against Naperville Central, a 17 seed at 6-3. Number 8 York at 8-1 will go up against Manuka. Speaking of teams that needed a win to get in last night, the Indians needed to do that, and they did. They got a 25 seed and are at 5-4. Number 9 Lincoln Way East at 7-2 will go up against number 24 Oswego East at 6-3. So Manuka did get in, but they drew of course they knew at 5-4 you're going to draw a tough first round matchup, and then of course the Naperville matchup there is going to be interesting. Number 4 Lockport. Speaking of teams that are on the rise and really done a fantastic job this year, the Porters at 8-1 will go up against number 29 Lions at 5-4. Number 13 Glenbard West at 7-2 will get number 20 Oswego at 6-3. Number 5 Gurney Warren will get Barrington. Gurney Warren at 8-1. Barrington at 5-4. That's a 5-28 matchup. And then Bolingbrook, the Raiders, a perennial team in that 8A playoff bracket. The 12 seed will go up against number 21 Glenbard North at 6-3. All right, that's I would say top half, but it's really all just one big thing.
Yeah.
So here's the rest of it. Number 2, South Elgin at 9-0 will get number 31 Edwardsville at 5-4. Number 15 seed Glenbard East at 7-2 will go up against number 18 Marist at 6-3. Number 7 Hinsdale Central at 8-1 will play number 26 Sandburg at 5-4. Number 10 Glenbrook South at 7-2 will go up against number 23 O'Fallon at 6-3. And then I think we have one more set here, and then all of the teams will have been released. That will give us the opportunity to talk about some things a little bit more. All right, so number 3, Niko Valley at 8-1 will go up against number 30 Bartlett at 5-4. Number 14 Taft at 7-2 will go up against number 19 Palatine at 6-3. Maine South, another team that kind of shows up every year in the 8A playoffs at 8-1. They'll take on number 27 New Trier at 5-4. And Plainfield North, an 11 seed at 7-2, will take on number 22 Evanston at 6-3. Boy, all the Plainfield teams rolling this year, and Lincoln Way's got a few teams in there as well. So the area really, I mean, I call that the area, it's more or less is, really represented all over the place. Not only public schools, private schools, I mean, there's a lot of teams in that particular mix. Now, that is everything through 8A. We're going to go back and touch on some.
All right, y'all, there we have it. Hope you're having a blessed day, blessed evening. The Boilers are number 3 playing in 4A. Number 14, Plano. That'll be October 30th, 2021. That is a IHSA game. So, y'all, I am going to try to bring that playoff game to you live. So be ready for it. It's gonna be a different one, so we're gonna try to just have the whole field of view. We won't be doing much camera movement on that, but we're gonna make sure we get the whole field of view to y'all. That way y'all can see the game. Lord willing, work it out. But there you have it. That's where we're at with it. The Boilers are number 3 in 4A. They will be playing Plano, which is number 14 at home. October 30th, 2021, this coming Saturday. So pray that you have a blessed evening, and we will see you soon.